Hey guys, Ryan here. Thank you for joining me for another video. In this one, I was able to bring a guest onto the channel for a one-on-one discussion about how to succeed on a platform like Teespring. Those of you guys that watch my monthly passive income reports, you know that I've been struggling on platforms like Teespring that really rely on sellers to drive their own external traffic to the platform and drive sales that way. Now, Shimmy, he's an expert at doing just that, to the tune of over $70,000 of profit. So now that I've got your attention, what do you say we jump into the interview where he's gonna tell us how he did that? All right, hey guys, Ryan here. Today I'm joined by a friend of the channel, Shimmy Morris. Now he has a similar e-commerce background that he's gonna share some of that with us, but then we're gonna shift focus to primarily Teespring because he has been quite successful on that platform. But hey, Shimmy, thank you for being here.
Hey. It's amazing to be here. I mean, this is my first ever, collaboration with anyone. So I'm just happy to be here.
Hey man, we're happy to have you, especially because you were able to sell over $70,000 as profit on Teespring. Is that right?
Yeah. What? Yeah. 70,000 on Teespring. We'll talk more into it later.
Also, can you give the viewers just a little bit more of a background on your journey into e-commerce? Like, how'd you get started and what's the evolution of your journey looked like?
Sure. Well, I mean, at the moment, I'm only 25, so I'm not particularly old. And I kind of got into it when I was in high school. I sold on eBay a ton. I moved from eBay to, I sold anywhere I could sell, I pretty much sold. And then my print on demand is pretty much the first real business that I did. I did little things, photography jobs and, selling in school and selling on eBay, but I never really did anything that was big. And then, okay. Yeah, so I mean, I was literally at home at one point. I was in my gap year. I came home and my brother said to me, "Have you seen this print on demand thing?" And I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about." But I watched a video on it. I took a course and we're talking, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, a long time ago. And I got into print on demand and I don't know how, but it just blew up. It just completely blew up in like literally 2 months' time.
That's the dream.
Yeah.
Did I hear you say in that video, because I've definitely been stalking your channel a bit, like, did you say that it was Donald Wilson, the gear bubble guy?
Yes.
It's funny, man, because that was it wasn't his course. I'm sure it probably wasn't the exact same course, but I ended up, my intro to non-Amazon merch print on demand was through his girlfriend's course.
Oh, his girlfriend, what's her name?
Rachel.
Rachel, that's it. Yeah, Rachel. Yeah.
I really if I'm being honest, I'm not hating on the course content, but I really joined because I said, hey, I will pay you more for lifetime gear bubble integrations because I saw the value in not having to pay monthly. And so I ended up paying like what would have ended up being, I think, 18 months worth of integrations up front and got the course and lifetime. And, the rest is history because I've obviously made that back. But that's kind of how my mind was. Even though I hadn't made a single sale, I was like, I'm committed. And I know I will be successful, so I'll pay you $2,000. Just give me lifetime, and then they did, so it's cool.
So I mean, the course I took with him, it was a very time-specific course. A lot of my viewers said, "Can I go and take that course?" And I was like, "No, don't bother," because it was a course of a trend that worked. Then and there, I hit it and I did it, and that's kind of how it all nice. Played out. But like I said, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really focus that much on print on demand now. My main focus is Amazon FBA and my YouTube channel. Like if you're asking me to recommend a business to go into, I would say go into Amazon. And I'm sure Ryan can agree. It's one of your biggest.
That's my leading profit each month, pretty much.
Exactly. I mean, print on demand is definitely a good business. It's definitely a lot of fun, and I happily talk to you about it all day, every day. But yeah, I just want everyone to know that, like, as much as I talk about it, I'm doing it a bit, but not nearly as much as I used to.
For sure. And I mean, I guess like for what it's worth, I know at least a handful of people making 5-figure monthly profit on Amazon merch alone, right? So it needs to be stated that if you go full focus on something like Amazon merch or Etsy Printful or Amazon FBM, different ways of selling print on demand, basically, like you can make a full-time income for sure because people are already doing it.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Let that trickle down to places like Teespring as well, which if you guys follow my channel, you know that I'm not that successful on the platform, which is why I jumped on the opportunity to have Shimmy on the channel to share more about his experiences there.
All right, wicked. Well, look, any questions you have about Teespring, I will happily answer down to whatever detail you want. I'm game.
For sure, man. And I guess to get started, like you already mentioned, well, did the course you take lead you to Teespring, or did you just kind of stumble upon it?
So the course I took was actually, this is before Donald Wilson had Gear Bubble. He actually got the Gear Bubble idea from Teespring. I don't know if you knew that.
I had no clue.
So I knew Donald Wilson way back when he was like still quite small, and I saw him, make a mint with the Teespring platform and then transition into building his own platform called Gear Bubble. And I was like, this is cool, because he was like so close with Teespring, like actually close with like the people who
I'm sure he was crushing it. Like, he's such a good marketer, man.
Yeah, it was insane. So I mean, so the course I took from him, it kind of taught a specific way of selling t-shirts and on Teespring with Facebook ads. And I mean, if you want, I can happily go into that specific way.
Well, let me real quick also mention that you have a video on your YouTube channel, which everybody should go check out. I'm going to drop a link. I'll have a link in the description that's clickable, but also I'm putting it on screen.
Nice.
Do you want to let us know what's in this video that I'm plugging?
Yeah, so that video is off the back of another video. I made a video where I talk about what I'm going to be talking about in this interview. Basically, it's just my journey with Teespring and how I made $70,000 or plus. And that video in the description is actually the full, crazy tutorial on Teespring and Facebook ads. Totally free. I don't want any money for it, but it's kind of like a complete walkthrough of the Teespring platform, of Facebook ads, and how you can combine the two to actually make money with them.
Yeah, that's a great idea, man. Like, let people, it's almost like reverse engineering success. Hey, you already are successful at doing this, so share your story, because everybody loves a good story, and then show people how to do it.
Right, exactly. And everyone's like, but the competition, if you're telling us all your secrets, it's like, I don't care. Like, I'm past it. Doesn't bother me. Like, the
pie is huge. I mean, go look at Facebook's year-over-year like ad spend. The prices have been going up because demand's been going up because of how successful marketers are doing it.
Yeah,
et cetera, et cetera.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So I guess to get started, that's one thing that I don't usually talk about on this channel. I'm usually a fan of, if you're selling on Amazon, here's how to advertise on Amazon. If you're selling on Etsy, here's how to advertise on Etsy, or not advertise on Etsy because they ruin their advertising platform. But that's kind of the gist that I usually talk about advertising, and it's within my realm of expertise. I'm not successful. I haven't spent much time driving external sources to various platforms. So you said that you did a lot of that. That was a big part of your success on Teespring.
Yeah, so I'm going to be honest. My only success kind of with Teespring was through ads. The one thing I'll have to mention with Teespring is it's not like, Redbubble, and it's not like Amazon. I know they promote that they have this marketplace that gets tons of traffic, but to be honest, it's actually not very good. They call it the boosted network. And in order to get your product ranked on the boosted network, you need to have a good trust score, which is this made up number that you don't actually see or know, and you can never find out. And the only way to get a trust score is to get sales. But then you're like, it's like a catch-22. How can you get sales if you're not on the marketplace?
I watched some of your videos on that. Yeah.
It's like crazy. So, I mean, this is kind of where like Facebook came in, because when I was doing these ads, Instagram wasn't that big with ads. And not just that, but like you couldn't really just do free marketing and get a whole ton of sales, because it would take so long to build up, an audience. So
you should repeat that real quick.
What?
Just because I think that like that's most people's plans for print on demand, and
it's just upload it and leave it.
Well, to build an audience, like if you want to play, it's usually pay to play. Like if you go to Instagram, it's in Instagram's best interest to keep you on Instagram. So if you want to do a bunch of posts promoting like t-shirts with links to other platforms, they're going to limit your exposure. It may not be written in the rules, but it's almost guaranteed. Same thing with Facebook, same thing with Twitter.
Exactly. So, I mean, I'll say this. If it's between advertising and free promotion, like building up an Instagram account, advertising is a lot faster and it will get you results quicker, but it will be a lot more short term. If you build an audience, it will take you a lot longer to build it up, but it will be a lot more evergreen. It will last you a lot longer. That's my point. That's my thinking. So if you've got 6 months to go, then build your audience. If you've got a week and you just want to get an ad going with some sales, that's fine. You can do that with Facebook ads. But just note that t-shirt will get you sales for about 2 weeks, and then you're going to have to start all over again with another t-shirt with more ads. I'd rather do the long game at this point. because it just makes more sense to me.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, I want to tell you about Facebook ads anyway, because
Please do.
yeah. So I mean, I've spent tens of thousands on Facebook ads. Specifically for t-shirts, I spent about 20 to 25,000. I've had my account banned like 3 times. So it's impossible to say.
I've heard that happens to everybody though, right?
It literally does. It literally Cupcake,
Cupcake trainings.
Yes. Like what she said, if you haven't had your Facebook account banned, you haven't spent enough money on it yet.
Right.
It's ridiculous. But what I did back then is I would basically target people, and this was the main thing that kickstarted my t-shirt business with Teespring, is I would make a t-shirt that said a particular name on it. So it would be like, you know, whatever your surname is, or my surname, so like say Team Morris, right? Or your surname Team Hogue, right? And it would basically, I would advertise that t-shirt to your set surname. So on Facebook, back then, you were able to categorize people by their surname, download that, and then re-upload it as a custom audience. And then I was able to make ads on Facebook, lead them to Teespring, and because these ads were so targeted, people genuinely thought I was creeping up on them because I knew their name.
Right.
Everyone clicked it. And the best part about it is because every family member has at least, you know, 2 or 3 people in it, some have 10, 20, 30, people would tag their entire family member.
Nice.
I once had someone tag like 30 plus people, and literally it would not surprise me if every single one of those people actually bought the shirt, because it's just so laser targeted. And like, you know, for family gatherings, for like events, for like a wedding or something, they just buy them because they're cute and they're incredibly cheesy. And I personally would never wear one. And that is what kickstarted it. And then that is also kind of what this whole course that, you know, Donald Wilson, that's what it was about. And that's why it wasn't an evergreen course, because that lasted about a month or 2. And then Facebook realized what we were doing, and they were just like, no, this is too personal.
Well, it was also like kind of peeling back the curtain for the, you know, if it's free to use, you're the customer, and everybody using Facebook probably started getting wise to like how much data they were making available to marketers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it probably actually set up a lot of trouble for Facebook with people complaining, because I did also got a lot of complaint being like, how are you marketing to me? Leave me alone kind of thing. And I was like,
dude, you know the world we live in though, all these big businesses, this is literally what happens. They're like, okay, if we do this, we might get fined $1 billion, but we'll make 10. So just pay the fine.
Literally.
Dude.
It's sad. But I mean, I don't want to just tell you about what happened back then, because clearly you can't do that anymore. I want to give you some real world advice.
I wanted to ask, like, what's the current landscape looking like? Even go kind of like maybe pre-COVID, post-COVID, just to let people know if ads got cheaper, because obviously year over year the prices are going up, and that's what's always scared me away, is getting scared of like really high budgets for the ads if they're not effective, you know.
Well, what I'll say is, depending on when this video goes live, Facebook, the ads do go up and up and up, and as marketers we have been, you know, like shunted at any time we can. Like they just don't care about us. But there's huge companies like Coca-Cola and you know, Pepsi, all these massive companies, they're actually doing a boycott of Facebook ads, I think for 1 month. I think it's July. I don't know if you've heard this. So if you do want to set up some Facebook ads, now is the best time, because it will be the cheapest.
Great point.
Like Facebook are just going to be trying to get as many ads in as possible, because they probably just lost billions and billions.
Go look at their stock. It drops like billions on the market cap, probably like 100 billion in a couple of days. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So, I mean, if you do want to start Facebook ads, now is probably the best time. And if I can give any advice on the types of ads to do, this is what I would say. So back then I did names. Okay. It doesn't work anymore. Let's get past it. But now what is amazing about Facebook, and why I think it's better than Amazon, Etsy, you know, Google, is the level of targeting. People lay out their heart to Facebook. Facebook know everything about you, as sad as it is to say, and you're able to target. But what's kind of new is you can target in like segments. So you can target if someone likes something, they also have to like something else. They also have to like something else. So for example, I did a video on this. You can basically target a job title. So let's say you're targeting bartenders. Okay, so that's one level. Okay. And then you can target all the bartenders that live in New York. So you're now New York bartenders. And then you can target all the New York bartenders that like, you know, dogs. Now, the size of this audience is going to be tiny, absolutely tiny, but the level of targeting, if you make a t-shirt that's all those things, like a bartending New York dog t-shirt, it's a bit of a wacky t-shirt.
No,
but
I got you though. Yeah.
someone sees that and they're just like, you have just triggered me in 3 points. You know where I live, you know what I do for a living, and you know I love dogs. This is insane. Like that, they're much more likely to buy it.
Dude, I just thought of the shirt. Wait, this is the shirt. I don't know how it just came to me. New York's best bartender, parenthesis, according to my dog. Done.
Hello, that is insane. Okay, if you're not going to do it, I'm going to do it. How did you think of that so fast?
I don't know, man, because you know what? It's probably because that's usually how I build my designs these days anyways. I was just plugging a tool that I released last week that helps you scale out t-shirts just like that, where you'd replace New York, you know,
I
or
feel like
bartender.
your brain just works in t-shirt slogans.
Yep, that's what happens when you've been at it for years.
But I mean, that's the thing, and that's why I love Facebook so much, because so I did this with bartenders a long time ago, and it still works today. But when I realized, okay, I'm targeting by bartender and by location, I just was like, all right, now let's target electrician by location, and let's target, and I ended up having 50 job titles. I just branched out with this one idea, the exact same t-shirt with a different picture on the top and a different job title, and it made like thousands and thousands. And that hasn't changed with Facebook. I mean, you can target parents, you can target parents with certain children. It's just so targeted. It's insane.
And relate this back to Teespring. Like, why Teespring instead of somewhere else?
Okay, so I mean, look, it can be Redbubble. The reason I do Teespring is I personally find Teespring is very user friendly. It's I don't know if you have an Android or an iPhone, and I don't want to start this
Android.
big debate, but okay, so I don't want to start speaking about. I'm an iPhone user. In my mind, I think Android's a better
Interviews
phone.
canceled.
No, look, I think Android's a better phone, but it's a lot more complicated. There's a lot more you can do. iPhone's simple, but it's basic. It's like for old people.
We can agree.
Right. So I would say Teespring and Redbubble, if I'm comparing those two, because Redbubble's like probably the second most popular, if we're not including Amazon because of the long wait time to get accepted. If we're talking Teespring, Redbubble, I feel Teespring is so user friendly of uploading, of tracking, and you can put your Facebook pixel directly into the back end of Teespring, and it tracks everything. Like it tracks sales, it tracks clicks, it tracks what ad they came from, if they everything. It's so tracked. And what I have to say is, if you're using ads, if you are going to use ads, it's vital that you're tracking those ads, because there is no point creating 10 ads, getting a whole bunch of sales, and not knowing which ad to scale up. If you don't know which ad to scale up, you're throwing your money away.
That's a key point, that if you've never run them, at least through like Facebook, it's probably lost on somebody hearing about it for the first time. But like, there's a reason why you don't hear people talking about Facebook ads to Amazon. Because Amazon's like, yeah, we're not giving you access to the source of this page. So
I know.
we're tracking it, yeah.
And that's the annoying thing, because with Facebook, there are so many levels of targeting. But then, if you're able to track your ad, you can also target people who went to your abandonment cart. You can just everything. Literally,
I've got everything set up for the record. I just don't run any, but I have like really basically what you're describing. Like each step is targeted so that the audiences are building for various things that I sell. I need some confidence to go live one day, you know?
Yeah, I mean, so I would say my most popular technique with Facebook is to make one ad that is literally a basic ad with no link. Because I mean, you said this earlier, Facebook hates it when you lead people away from their platform, which makes sense. I understand that. So I do this one ad where I just post a t-shirt and I say, do you like this? Would you buy this? Comment yes or no. And then I get a whole bunch of comments yes or no. And then I make another ad targeting all the people that interacted with that ad. So I'm now like, I was laser targeted, but now I'm like super laser targeted.
Right.
And then I make an ad to those people actually selling them the t-shirt. And basically think of it like this: the more targeted you are on Facebook, the cheaper your clicks should be, because you're getting a lot more clicks. Facebook can see, oh, he's doing really well. And this is how, when I was doing this, I was getting like less than 10-cent website clicks, which doesn't exist anymore. Doesn't exist. And I was getting like likes and comments and shares for, I think it was like 0.005 cents.
Damn.
Like I was able to spend $100 and get tens of thousands of likes and comments, and it was just I was able to build huge pages from it, all of that kind of stuff. And
good for you, man.
Yeah, I mean, so when I think of Teespring, I don't think of a standalone print-on-demand company. I think of, you need to market it somehow, and in my mind, Facebook is the way to go, just because of how targeted it is.
100%, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
it's hard to argue with that, at least. And then the price thing, you had a great answer when I asked you about costs, which I think scares people away. or potentially like me, I get scared away, even though costs aren't going to go down anytime soon, except for right now where you've got everybody boycotting Facebook. So we're also the shill who fills that cheap ad spot, you know. Oh, you guys aren't paying? I will.
Right, exactly. I mean, so I would say in terms of price, the one piece of advice I can give in terms of price is, so you have Teespring's cost price and their shipping price, which I have to say is astronomical. It's shocking. And then you've obviously got your Facebook ad costs. So however many dollars it costs you to get a conversion, right? So a click for a sale. So I would say to start out with, you basically just want to price your t-shirt as cheap as possible. You want to do free shipping if you can, to entice people. And I would always tell everyone, don't try and turn a profit at the beginning. Just try and break even. And the more sales you get on Teespring, you will eventually end up on their free marketing and you will end up in their ad campaigns. And it's a great way to do that. But when you start getting sales, it can actually show on Teespring how many you've sold. And then that's social proof, right? And when your ad, and when your ad starts doing well, it's also social proof. So kickstart your ad, get the cheap likes, because once you start getting cheap clicks and cheap likes, it will stick to that. And then you can always change your price, which make sure not to have your price in the ad. But then in the back end on Teespring, up your price by $3 or $4. Keep the free shipping, because I would say it's better to sell a t-shirt for $25 with free shipping than $20 with $5 shipping.
If you're selling to somebody on an impulse buy, you don't need to like make them do additional math based on
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, some people don't mind paying shipping. I know me personally, I hate shipping costs with such a passion. Like, I would pay more if it had free shipping. That's how crazy I think.
That's a good point.
So that's what I would say. And then I would say once you've started building up a good amount of sales, up your price on Teespring, keep your ads going, and then slowly you'll not just be breaking even, but you'll start to turn a profit. And then you'll see of your however many ads you've got going, you'll see which ones are, you know, converting the best. Pause all the other ones, keep that one playing. And one thing I'll say is, in terms of scaling an ad, don't ever just double a budget. So if your budget's $10 a day, don't ever just go $20 a day, $40 a day. Always halve it. So if your budget is $10 and you want to scale it, go to $15. And you want to scale it again, go to like $22 kind of thing. Don't ever double it, because in Facebook's mind, you double it, they'll just double your cost per click, and you don't want that happening.
Good tip. Interesting.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
And one other, that's really a great tip. And it's funny how it shifts to being more about Facebook, because I've done other like interviews, and a lot of them do relate back to Facebook ads, because when I'm like kind of like what I usually talk about is, like I said, platform specific advertising. So when I have someone else on, I like to talk about, I like to have them share their expertise with things that I'm not good at. And yeah, it's funny, like Facebook, man, they just, the advertising platform, the targeting, it's just the power.
Yeah.
The number of millionaires they've made probably through letting people.
Ridiculous. And I just wanted to say, before I forget, I want to say the way I see it in my head, with Teespring and Facebook, you're not someone who's into print on demand. You're someone who's into advertising, right? If you sell on merch or you sell on Redbubble, you're a designer who likes creating t-shirts. With Teespring and Facebook, it doesn't matter what the t-shirt is. I've literally sold a t-shirt with spelling mistakes. It's not about the t-shirt. It's literally just how good of a marketer you are, and you can sell anything. You can probably sell a blank t-shirt with a dot on it. Doesn't matter what you sell. And that's what I think. I don't think you're a print on demand person. I just think you're a genius marketer.
And Don Wilson and Rachel, the two owners of Gear Bubble, like they echo that sentiment. If you look at their, if you're on their email list, you get like 100 emails a week about a new course that's available for sale. But like what they always say is literally just that you can make an ugly design, sell it on anything, and as long as your marketing's good, like you'll be somewhat successful. You know,
it's literally all about marketing.
And I wanted to also just like one last thing about Teespring versus like Shopify. That's probably what at least somebody's watching that thinking like, why Teespring over Shopify? Yeah, you just want to touch on the differences that you would face as the seller selling on Teespring versus Shopify.
Okay, well, I mean, firstly, they're two completely separate platforms. I mean, Shopify costs every single month. Teespring is free. Shopify, you need to integrate it with, Printful, Printify, any of these print-on-demand companies, whereas Teespring is like an all-in-one package. You launch the shirt on their platform, you sell it on their platform, people buy it through their platform. It's all integrated into a single platform. With Shopify, you have to start connecting t-shirts. You have to build a website. I mean, Shopify is easy to build, but you've still got to build it. You've got to design it. You then got to import all the t-shirts. And then when you get a sale, it goes back to, let's say, Printful, and then they fulfill it. Whereas Teespring, it does it all for you, and you only pay, and this is what I love about Teespring, is you only pay when you get the sale. So if, let's say you don't have to run ads, let's say you have a very large audience and you can get away with free marketing on your Instagram or your YouTube, if you sell a shirt for $20, you only pay once you get that sale. They'll just take it off the $20. With Shopify and Printful, it's the same thing. You still only pay when you sell the shirt, but you're paying for Shopify every single month, and that's quite expensive. And not only that, but when you get into Shopify, you start paying for like these review
add-ons, a million of them.
All these add-ons that you just don't need. And I don't know. Look, what I say in one of my videos is this: I say start with Shopify, do the break-even method, try and build it up, and then once it's good, Shopify is good for immediate, short-term gains. Once you've built good t-shirts, you've got a good following, build a Shopify store. Right? Move everything over to Shopify, because Shopify, in my mind, is a real website, right? You can sell a Shopify store at the end of the day. I wouldn't be able to sell a Teespring store, but Shopify store, I can go and list it and actually, get it valued and sell it as a real business. So I say the same for Amazon, right? If you're selling on Amazon FBA, at some point, go and launch a Shopify website and a real website and put all your stuff on that website, because you'll immediately increase your profit margins.
I have like kind of a contrarian take on that. Just the last part, which is I did that with like one of my big brands, and then I had the website on every single unit. So, I mean, it drove traffic.
Right.
But I ended up, because when new competitors started popping up, I was like, man, like, how do I guarantee that? Because I'd already climbed to organic rank 1. So I redirected the website to my brand store on Amazon. So now Amazon sees external traffic coming in, converting, driving the loop, the flywheel.
Yeah, I mean, that's why Facebook ads, by the way, is also amazing for Amazon. Not that we're talking about that, but just as a side note, incredible, because they love outside traffic.
Nice. And one last thing too, like Teespring, I wanted to ask, because this was one thing I was thinking as Teespring for Shopify. Customer service. Does Teespring handle that? Yes.
Teespring does handle customer service. The issue is, and it's like this with all print-on-demand companies, print-on-demand companies tend to have a reputation for terrible customer service. And unfortunately, Teespring doesn't fall short of that. I mean, that's probably why you love Amazon merch. And I think Amazon merch is amazing, is because I know firsthand Amazon's customer service is unparalleled to anything. It's incredible. I mean, I could probably call Amazon's customer service over a morning coffee and just have a conversation with them. Like, you can literally talk to Amazon. It's just amazing. But with Teespring, it's good for a seller, right? As a seller, if I message them, they will be at my beck and call. They will listen to me. If I say, oh, quickly change this, they'll go and do it. And eventually, if you get good enough, they'll appoint you like a rep to to help you out. But as a customer, the shipping times are long. The quality isn't the best, and the customer service isn't that good as well. I mean, they're handling so many orders, and they probably got quite a small. It's probably kind of like a Silicon Valley kind of small company. I don't know where they're based, but I doubt it's like a global, Amazon size company. So I can understand why they don't have the best customer service. It's annoying. It's one of those things.
As far as like for us though, being most people watching too, solo entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, like if we can outsource customer service by simply using Teespring and not have to build a website, it's like, okay, and we can still pixel the potential customers and all that. Yeah. It seems like that is probably where, let's just say your ambition is to have your own huge branded Shopify store. Well, maybe start on Teespring, right? And then
I mean, that's the thing. You don't need anything. You upload to Teespring, you advertise it. You don't have to handle anything else. I mean, your customers can hate your stuff and you'll never know.
Hey, Shimmy, thank you for being here. You've shared tremendous value, most value that I would have anticipated you'd have to pay to hear.
You are welcome.
Dude, it's been great, man. I know everybody appreciates it. Guys, drop a comment. Just say thank you, Shimmy, if this video helped you out. If you have questions, by the way, I'm sure he's happy to answer them. Although, let me just go ahead and remind you guys that he put like a hour-long video or something.
Yeah, it's long. It's like an hour training. Full on, step-by-step, print on demand.
Actionable content though. So if
Yeah.
it's long, but it's like, hey, just follow along and take action, it's perfect. So
And I respond to every single comment. As difficult as that is, I spend about 2 hours every morning responding to every single comment I get. So any questions you have, fire them at me, and I am there.
Cool, man. Hey, thank you again for being here. And I look forward, man. We're going to have to hop on and do this again. But thank you again.
100%.
And yeah, man, we'll be in touch.
Thanks for having me.